If a person does complete tshuva for wasting seed, no, they can get to a very high level of kedusha. They can become a serious talmid chacham. They can solve a lot of issues that they have in life, and potentially even get a major salvation. I can tell you a few things. I know a few people that listen to me on this issue. One guy was looking for a shidduch for years. Looking for a shidduch for years. I think it was maybe 8 years, 9 years. Good looking, handsome guy. Couldn't find. Every girl, something happened. They like him, then they don't like him. They like him, they don't like him. The wedding's on, the wedding's off. Hashem Yachem. 8 years he's going, trying. One day happens to be that he comes to my SHIUR. We find out I talk about wasting seed, and he's like, "You're talking about me?" I said, "I know what's happening in your house. How do I know?" I was telling you what the Torah says. He goes, "No. I'm saying you're talking about me. I'm the guy. I do it." I said, "Okay, stop." He said, "Yeah, but it's hard." I know it's hard. Rambam says it's the hardest thing to overcome. It's the most difficult thing in the entire Torah to overcome if you have an addiction to it. But it's possible. And if you overcome it, the reward is endless. Baruch Hashem, he listened. He stopped. Within 4 months, he got married. 4 months, he got married. Another guy, couldn't have a kid. Married guys are also addicted to this stuff. Don't think just because you're married, you're okay. I have guys that are married that are addicted to it also. One guy was married, couldn't have a kid. A few years they spent a lot of money, doctors, all types of pills, all types of hormones. Hashem Yachem. Baruch Hashem came to me. They had an issue. I told them, this is the issue. Don't tell your wife, but you have a very serious problem, so on and so forth. Baruch Hashem, within a year they had a kid. The point being, Rabotai, is that it's not a joke. I'm not a prophet. I'm not the son of a prophet, but I know what Torah says here. In this specific issue, if you overcome it, the reward you're going to get is something so out of the ordinary, so extraordinary, that the only regret you're going to have, you didn't do it sooner. But it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lifetime commitment. Don't ever think, okay, I'm not going to do it every day like I used to, but I'll do it a couple times a month. Come on, no, to relieve the stress. Once a month, Hashem's okay. I used to do it every day. Once a month's okay. No, my friend. There's no such thing as once a month. Dvash matzata echol dayeka. Pentis be'ena ve'ekiato. Shlomo HaMelech says, if you found honey, don't eat too much, or else you'll end up throwing up. Chachamim say, what, we need diet lessons from Shlomo HaMelech? He says, no. Shlomo HaMelech is teaching us about the issues of kedusha. He says, even if you found a beautiful wife, don't be too often with her. There's a certain time of the month to be together, and even then, you have to make sure that there's a time and place for everything. Don't be like the animals that do things in the streets. Show everybody their business. A time and a place for everything, even if she's your wife. Why? If you don't watch even something that's allowed, eventually it will become disgusting to you. Even that beautiful wife of yours will become disgusting to you. And that's what Rabbi Yochanan says in the Gemara. He says that there's a small member in a person's body, small body part in a person's body, that if you feed it, it'll never be satiated. It'll always be hungry. If you don't feed it, if you starve it, it'll always be full. So Chamim says, what is it talking about? He's talking about the male member. He's talking about promiscuity. He's talking about wasting seed. If a person wastes seed, even if it's once a month, it's only a matter of time before it's twice. It's only a matter of time before it's 5 times. It's only a matter of time before it's every day. But if he starves it, and it's 0, guess what? After a while, he has 0 desire to do it unless it's allowed. Meaning, he's with his wife. With his wife, he's still normal, he's still excited, everything is good. But he does it every day, it's a very serious problem. Because it'll never be enough. Yes? It's a problem, but not as big. It's a problem, but not as big. If, let's say, for example, if a woman is dressed modesty as far as the way she looks, but she hugs and kisses other guys that are not her husband, she still has a very serious problem. But it's not as significant. And the reason why is because it's limited to the people that are immediately around her. Meaning it's less of a sin. It's still a problem, but it's less of a sin. Whereas a woman that's not modest as far as clothing, even if the guy's 100 yards away, could still see her. And once a neshama sees something, it gets recorded permanently in there. And that means he's going to think about her at some inappropriate time, even when he's with his wife. So she has a very serious problem at that point. But if she acts immodestly occasionally, by accident, it's a different story.
Well, what if like a girl that's modest still makes a guy with seed? Does she get the sin for it?
No. If she is modest, she did what she's supposed to. And this psychopath desires her, that's his problem. That's his problem. That's not her problem. If she is, because she's not responsible for his craziness. Because she wasn't a partner to the crime. She covered her hair, covered her body, acted modestly, everything is good. The fact that he's that way, it's not a problem. But if she's not modest, then she's obviously a victim to the crime. She's obviously a partner to the crime. You know what the funny thing is, though? I'll tell you a secret, women. I'll tell you a secret, not just about men, but about Torah and about HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mercy. I'm not only telling you this as a rabbi, I'm telling you this as a man. Men don't have illicit thoughts about modest women. They want to marry them. They don't want to do ugly things to them. So a man, generally speaking, has to be very, very sick in order to have illicit thoughts about a classy woman, a woman that's modest. He has to be sick, meaning a person that actually desires such a woman probably desires the chair also, desires the horse, desires the cat, desires the seat, desires everything. He desires anything, so it has nothing to do with her anyway. If she's modest, good men, like men that actually have kedusha in their head, they don't think like that. They simply don't. That doesn't mean they don't ever think like that. That means they protect themselves and they don't allow themselves to get that far. But the point is, if a woman is modest, she has nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to allow such things to happen as part of the reward. Part of the reward for what you're doing. Yes?
What if it's
Immodest in speech can also lead to certain things, but it's lesser of a crime. It's lesser. It's still a crime, but lesser of a crime. So it's like this. Torah says, don't murder. Right? It says don't murder. It says in the Ten Commandments, don't murder. The Chachamim say that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw the Jew raise his hand to hit the other Jew, he said, Rasha! Yeah, but he didn't hit him yet. He didn't kill him. Like Moshe Rabbeinu killed the Egyptian the day before. But he called the one that had his hand in the air Rasha already. Why? That hit could lead to murder. You didn't murder him yet, but the fact that it can lead to murder, you already called the Rasha in the Torah. Meaning, it is a crime that's defined in the Torah as a Rasha, as a wicked person, but it's still not a murderer. So yes, being immodest is the actual murder. Murder of many neshamot, and every neshama that looks at her, she's murdering that neshama. But if she simply says things that are immodest, it's not murder per se, but it's still rasha. It's still a problem. So yes, it's definitely something to work on. And B'ezras Hashem, if a woman is modest, eventually the exterior appearance, if it's real and if it's for the right reason, and it's not just some style, like some women, they change their look for style purposes. Like there's this one woman that, I'm not going to mention her name, but she made a big mitzvah. A huge mitzvah 5-6 years ago. She started a website to teach women how to cover their hair in a nice way. To cover their hair with a mitpachat, nice way. We liked this mitzvah so much that we promoted her website. We don't know her. We bought some stuff from the website here and there, but we don't know her. So that might tell me down or anything like that. But we liked what she was doing so much, we promoted it to people. Anyone wanted to go buy kisurosh, I would send it to this website. Anyone that wanted to learn, I would send it to these videos, because she was doing a great mitzvah. Fantastic mitzvah. Unfortunately, at some point along the road, she became successful. She started making a lot of money from this, and she forgot about the mitzvah. It became style. Meaning she wasn't covering the hair or telling people to cover the hair because of the mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said. She said it's just nice looking. She liked it. So one day she saw that one of her she decided that one of the posts we made on the internet, one of my talmidot, she took her wig after she heard the truth about wigs. She took her wig and she burned it. So a lot of people made a comment about this, and this woman decided that has this business decided to say, listen, we're not against wigs. We just like covering hair with the mitpachat as a look. What did she just do in that act? All of the mitzvot she just did for the last 5 years, millions and millions of mitzvot, just went into the garbage pail. She's lost everything in 1 second. Why? It went from being a mitzvah to being style. If a woman is modest for the mitzvah reasons, the reward is endless. If she's modest because she likes the way the clothes looks, that's a problem. Hopefully she gets to the mitzvah. If it's both, she likes the way it looks, and she's doing for the mitzvah, no problem. It's perfect. That's perfect. That's normal. But if she's only doing it because of the style, then you have a little bit of a problem. Why? Because the style won't stay the same forever. You're going to change your style at one point. You're going to change your opinion at one point. Just like this woman did 5 years into it. She forgot what the mitzvah was, and she made a stupid comment that lost a lot. She doesn't even realize how much she lost. Yes. Yes.
How does a person do proper TeShuva?
So first thing it says in Torah is stop sinning. And then it says start doing good things. So the first, the most important step of tshuva is to stop the big sins. The big ones. Stop violating Shabbat. Stop eating non-kosher. Stop wasting seed. Stop, if you have a girlfriend, break up with her or get married, whichever one happens first. If you have a boyfriend, either get married or break up with him, whichever happens first. There's no such thing as boyfriend, girlfriend in Judaism. There's no such thing. I know somebody that, Hashem, nice, fantastic human being, said that, his girlfriend is great. He wants to marry her one day. He wants to build a family one day. But, they've been girlfriend and boyfriend for a few years. 2, 3 years already. So obviously, after 2, 3 years, even if you started off not touching after 2, 3 years, how much can you overcome? How many tests can you overcome? So they touched. And one touch led to another touch. And the next thing you know, he tells me, he goes, what do I do, Rabbi? I said, what? He goes, we just had an abortion. I said, well, now you have to do tshuva. What's tshuva? Well, one tshuva you have to do is you have to say sorry to Hashem that you just committed murder. So you have a very serious problem. 2, you have to either break up with her or you have to get married tomorrow. Whichever one happens first. That's the tshuva there. Why? Because now that means that you are already too dangerous for yourself. So first thing is we have to understand. We have to stop the big sins. There's no, I'm stopping half of it. Like, I'm only going to drive half of Shabbat. I'm only going to murder once a month. I'm only going to kill once a week. There's no such thing. You have to stop the big sins as soon as you possibly can. If you fail, it's not okay. Try again, though. It's not okay, but try again. And try again. And try again until you overcome it. Stop the big sins. After you focus on stopping the big sins, whatever you know of, stop it. That's no good. Then start focusing on doing as many mitzvot as you possibly can. Any opportunity you have to make a mitzvah, do it. Learning Torah is the best mitzvah in the world. Learn as much as you possibly can. Do every mitzvah that you possibly can. And take advantage of the millions of opportunities you have to do good things, and you'll see that those mitzvot will make you stronger in overcoming those sins that you're making. Because again, you're not going to be able to stop everything in one shot, because you still have desires. But at least the desire to stop will show Hashem that you're serious. And He'll give you a lot of help, especially since you're all very young. He'll give you a lot of help to overcome things you didn't think you're going to be able to overcome. A person that usually has the most amount of desires, sexual desires, when he's very young. Guys in this, 18, 19, 20, 25, that's usually the time where they're the most desired. Women are a little older. But the beautiful thing is, a lot of my Talmidim from all over the world, they come to me at this age, and they listen to the shiurim, and guess what? They stop. They actually have, even though their desire is much greater than some of our students that are in their 30s and 40s. The 18-year-old's desires are much greater than the 35, 40, 50-year-old guy that's married. But the funny thing is, the guy that's 18, the guy that's 15, is much more successful, much more often in stopping wasting seed than the guys that are 40. Why? Because the younger you are, the more Hashem will help you do tshuva. You just have to show Hashem that you want to do it. By trying. You do it, Hashem will help you. Will give you 100% siyat lishma. Same thing with women.